This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we've got a listener-sponsored review of the cult classic comedy, The Princess Bride, with a special guest joining us, the listener who sponsored the review.
Inconceivable!
Plus, Ant-Man 3 takes a huge hit in the box office in its second week. The Thunderbolts movie adds a Walking Dead actor. Our first look at Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn in the Joker sequel. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is doing his first TV show.
Geek boner.
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, February 27th, 2023.
This is Frank Grillo. You know me. But who are you? Are you the discerning, sophisticated type of person who enjoys all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news? Pop culture references, witty banter? Me neither. I'm just here for the dick jokes.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talking, we nerding. We funny, disturbing. We talking, we nerding. We spoiler alert. Oh, yeah.
What's up, listener? How's it going? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd. We'll peep you tomorrow.
We'll peep you tomorrow. Wait, you're here today. Well, hold on a second. Joining us also is a fella who's often been confused for a rodent of unusual size. You may know him as Rug Dingo Montoya, but we call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I like being called Rug Dingo. It has a lot of connotations that say I have a big penis.
Yes. Big Rug Dingo over here.
I'll take it.
We got a lot of fun stuff planned this episode, listener. A special guest will be joining us a little bit later to review a Patreon-sponsored movie, but a lot of news to talk about. Let's get started before that.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Well, I want to do a little box office update, check in with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We reviewed it last week. So I was like, hey, how's it doing? Apparently not so well. This second weekend, Ant-Man 3 had the biggest drop of any MCU movie, dropping 69%, almost 70% from its 105 million debut. Its second week domestically, Ant-Man 3 only pulls in $32 million. Cocaine Bear coming in second with $23.5 million. So that's a Cocaine Bear. That's pretty impressive for Cocaine Bear. And it's really bad for the Ant-Man, getting close to 70%. And now everybody's question is, should Marvel be concerned? Is this a problem bigger than we think? It's not the only movie to have that big of a drop. The pandemic era movies, Black Widow, that was also released on HBO Max at the same time, 67.8% drop second week. Thor: Love and Thunder, 67.6%. Even Spider-Man: No Way Home apparently had a 67.5% drop in the second week, and Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, 67%. But this is 69, which is a great number, but also a bad number. Almost 70. Anthony, should they be concerned? Is this cause for concern? What is happening?
Oh, I mean, there is a concern there, right? Like you want to see the movie have some legs, and they've had some movies now that don't seem to have the legs that Marvel movies used to have. I'm going to skip to your next point, though, and we can circle back to this. The bigger concern is that the guy that wrote this is the guy that's writing King Dynasty.
Yes. So, first of all, currently, Ant-Man 3 domestically has made $167 million. Worldwide, it's sitting at $363 million with a $200 million budget. So, it's not great.
Yeah, it's gonna make its money.
It will make its money. And the three movies, it trended higher, right? Every movie opened bigger and bigger and bigger. But yes, this is probably even a bigger concern is, what's his name? Loveness, the guy who wrote, Rick and Morty and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Jeff Loveness has been talking about he is writing Kang.
We're not talking about. He's slotted in.
He's in. No, he's the writer of Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, right?
Right.
So he's talked to some outlets about how Namor. He's confirmed Namor is going to be in the movie. He's excited to write Namor, and he said also there's going to be a high kill count because of Kang. But I also saw another article that said that he's way behind on the script. So my question is, look. The script for Ant-Man 3 it had problems. It was okay. This is no Marcus and McFeely, right? From the last Avengers movie. So are you concerned, Rug Boy, that the same guy is
I don't know.
writing this?
I don't know. Part of me is like, does it the fact that the guy works on a TV show that's a half hour long, that's a comedy?
Does that translate? So did the Russo brothers, though.
Well, I'm saying, like, they didn't write. Did they write?
They didn't write, though. They were just directing.
Yeah.
Good point.
So, I feel like, I don't know, that could be a limitation on what this guy can do. Maybe he doesn't have the experience yet. And you're talking about a flagpole movie, right? Flagship movie. I said flagpole.
Flagpole. Flagpole.
It's a fucking flagpole. No, it's a flagship movie.
Yes.
For Marvel.
Tentpole. You meant flagship and you mixed it with tentpole.
Man, I don't know.
Flagpole.
I'm an idiot. Listen, I'm an idiot, and it's late. It's late enough in the day where I can no longer converse properly. But who gives a shit what I'm thinking? I'm an idiot. Move on.
Anthony, is he going to ruin this movie?
I'm not going to go that far. I mean, the movie definitely, as we've pointed out last week, had some issues with the writing. I don't know if you blame that fully on him, or maybe he can out and say Marvel wanted me to get to this point, but I think there is blame for him, right? Like, we can clearly point out the writing flaws in this movie, especially if you're trying to look back at past, like what made Endgame and Infinity War kind of fun was those writers looked back at all the other movies and kind of took threads and continued them into this movie.
Yeah,
and I pointed this out on the Discord, but I mean, this guy couldn't even look back at the previous Ant-Man movie and continue the thread.
Yeah,
right. Like the thread with the quantum realm, he completely ignores the post-credit scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp to make the thread here. It's completely different. So it's concerning. I did look at the article. I do like his thoughts behind Kang in terms of this villain that just keeps coming back and keeps coming back stronger, and you know, it's kind of a different challenge in that, like, you can't just beat him once, you got to keep beating him. So I think there's something there. Well, we'll see. It's not. I mean, there's no way you can really come out of this movie unless you just loved Ant-Man and the Wasp and go, man, I'm this writer, this is the guy. Like, I'm excited. Whereas Marcus and McFeely, I think they did Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think they did Civil War, and there was some nice stuff in each of those movies that you could go, okay, I like where these guys are going.
Yeah, he says, Loveness says about Kang, he's almost an existential threat, and the more you fight him, the worse he's going to get. And I'm excited about the prospect of, like, thousands of Kangs just coming into, like, the universe and fighting all the Avengers. Like, this is a big movie. Like, there's going to be tons of fucking characters in there.
Like, you want to know what? Not to be the negative Nelly here, but, like, does it really? The overall theme, like, when you talk about Thanos, you're talking about this dude's he's going to correct the big mistake that is the universe.
Right.
And he's got his whole plan. We know his plan. We know Kang is kind of doing something similar. He's not doing it for the universe's sake. He's doing it because he wants to be the only one, I guess.
It's kind of similar, actually, to Thanos. The way I interpret it is he is looking to correct the multiverse because all his other variants are fucking it up, and he's the only one that understands what the implications are of what they're doing.
But we don't understand what his end result that he wants is.
We don't completely get it. I think we're filling in the blanks, and the blank I filled in is that he's kind of trying to be He Who Remains.
He wants to get to that point He Who Remains was, where there's one timeline and he's in charge of it and it's all under control.
Yeah, but I don't understand, like, which timeline is the right one.
The one where he's in charge. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it just doesn't seem very I don't know, it's not very compelling. I'm very misty on, like, murky on what exactly does he want to do. He wants to be the guy at the end and that's it. Like, he just wants to conquer the timeline.
I think we're going to see him a couple more times, and it's going to fill in some of the holes. Like, I believe he's in a couple of episodes of Loki season 2. Maybe we see him get beat again and again, and like then different things happen. But I think they're slowly going to give us some pieces.
I feel like it's more of a TV villain than a movie villain.
I mean, I like the mystery of Kang after watching that movie. I did appreciate it.
Feels very Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's, yes, a little bit, but I like this mystery. Like, what is his deal? Even though they've given us great villains with clear fucking motivations in the past. And the fact that Marcus and McFeely in Endgame were somehow able to touch every Marvel movie. There was a loose thread from all the 20 whatever movies that came before it that got closure in that movie. That is an amazing accomplishment. It's wild. It's so well done. So I guess we can't expect that kind of greatness from the Loveness.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. We'll see. They're not exactly, they haven't been firing on all cylinders. Let's just say that.
I just wish I had some idea of like what we're going to get.
Also, why do you think this box office dropped so hard? Was it the bad reviews?
Yeah, bad press.
I feel like the word of mouth though was so big against the bad reviews that it would have spread. But I guess it was. I guess the critics swayed enough people.
Yeah, and it's a pretty average movie too. So,
and it's not really a casual superhero movie. Like you kind of have to go in knowing things. I guess.
I think that word of mouth works, not when you go, it was good.
Right.
Like, it works when you're like, you gotta see this fucking movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Holy shit, I loved it. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, there's guys that will watch anything and say that, Imran.
What? Mom?
That will watch a movie and just love it and just, whatever. And then those people will get ignored because they cry wolf all the time. So, yeah, I think that proper word of mouth isn't here for this movie. Like, there's not anyone like really touting it's great. So,
well, listener, you can join the conversation. Let us know if you think Marvel should be concerned. Are you excited for Jeff Loveness writing Kang Dynasty? Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It is a private, exclusive group just for our listeners. We're all in there. You're going to meet lots of fun people and get to geek out and stuff that, people do on Facebook. Okay, sticking with the MCU, the Thunderbolts cast, late edition of the Thunderbolts cast, someone pretty exciting. It's Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead. Oscar-nominated Stephen Yeun has been added to the cast of Thunderbolts as a, quote, a significant major role going forward in the future films of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Okay. Who could this be? There are guesses out there. What are the guesses?
First guess is a Sentry, right?
No, well, I don't. That's not the one I saw first. I saw people saying like Amadeus Cho, but is that racist to say that? I don't know.
No, what do you mean? How is that racist?
I don't know. He's a
Korean character,
and the character's Korean, and you need a Hulk in there, right? Amadeus Cho becomes a Hulk.
Amadeus Cho is a young character in the comics.
Yes,
I believe.
very new.
Like, no, I'm saying he's young. Not new.
He's younger.
Young.
Yeah, he's like a young protege type thing. But he does become the Hulk at one point. So, like, you could have
Stephen Yeun is probably in his 40s.
So, Anthony, does Marvel have the balls to make him Sentry, who is a blonde white dude?
That'd be a move.
They'll do it if they need to.
That'd be a move. The only thing I don't necessarily mind it, but I just don't see physically Sentry's got to be a bit imposing. I don't see that in Stephen Yeun.
It's a Marvel movie. They bulk him up. They got like an algorithm. I don't know.
they do put the Marvel. I mean, I've seen abs on guys I never thought had abs.
Kumail Nanjiani got jacked. Come on, if it could happen to him, they could make anybody look amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. Stephen Sentry, excuse me, Stephen Yeun.
Yeah.
Sentry was someone I just tossed out. But I don't know if is that even a rumor that people are thinking
is the rumored villain of the movie.
Right.
So people are putting two and two together. Is it going to be weird seeing him play a bad guy? He's a fantastic actor.
Let's talk about Hulks.
Yeah.
We got Red Hulk. That's possible.
Harrison Ford.
We got Scar in the mix. We got She-Hulk in the mix.
I forgot about Hulk's son is now in the mix.
So now we're doing too many Hulks.
There's one,
and then we got
two,
the actual Hulk.
Three.
Yeah.
And then if Amadeus Cho becomes
Hulks.
Brawn.
Yeah, that's 5 Hulks. You have a Hulk movie. I wonder if that's the way they can get around the Universal kind of rights issue is by creating a different Hulk and giving him a movie. We're putting him in.
Do you think it'll be a Green Hulk?
I think he would be a Green Hulk. That's how it was in the comics. He's just
Nah. What if they change the color? That way it's not like an official for their copyright.
Did you ever watch that Hulk's Agents of Smash cartoon?
No, that was terrible. I watched one episode and thought it was awful.
I watched a bunch of those. I kind of enjoyed it. It had multicolored Hulks in there. It was like a blue one, a gray, and a red one.
What are the other rumors for Steven Yeun?
That's really it that I've seen. I don't know what the significant role. I can't think of like who else you could introduce. You have Contessa Valentina Allegra in this, and of course Thunderbolts being Red Guardian, Ghost, Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, U.S. Agent, and Taskmaster.
Screen Rant has their headline is Steven Yeun is playing Sentry.
Oh shit!
But that's them putting that out there.
Okay. Well, I mean, this movie just, I don't even think I think
the risk of overstuffing it with too many characters. So he's got to be the bad guy. That's what I see.
Man, Steven Yeun's a bad guy. That'll be interesting. I think he can.
But I think the whole thing about Sentry is he's supposed to start out as a good guy.
He is. Yes.
And he's got that vulnerability. So
yeah, he's a character that has a lot of mental issues, but he is like a guy that he's almost like the Hulk, but becomes Sentry in the Void and then like loses control of it.
Oh, I see. Dark Side.
I love Sentry. I mean, if you read Marvel Avengers Siege,
okay, he's in that.
He's in that, and he's a freaking badass villain. I mean, he goes nuts. He rips Ares in half.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Not Brett Goldstein from Ted Lasso.
No, not that one.
I've not read a lot of Sentry, but I know of him. I know he's just like super powerful.
Yeah, he's like Superman, but then also like bipolar. So he has like a bad side.
Oh, okay. Well, I like that. I kind of like that.
The Sentry is his good side, and then the Void is his bad side.
Oh, okay. Okay. Huh. Well, we shall find out, but it's going to be a while. July 2024, Thunderbolts slated to open. Let's shift over to DC movies. They're also not having a good time with opening box offices as Shazam sequel. We're just a little under 3 weeks away. March 17th, it's coming out, Fury of the Gods. But they are it's tracking for a debut of 35 to 40 million. Pretty low. And there's a hilarious article. Helen Mirren was on the Graham Norton show, and he asked her about the movie and what the movie's about. And she goes, quote, "Don't ask me about the plot. It's too complicated." She's like, "I don't know. We're just two angry goddesses wearing heavy costumes. It was hot and uncomfortable." And she also broke her thumb during the filming. So she's playing with an injury, people. I don't know. Like, I don't have a lot of excitement for this. We're going to watch it because it's a superhero movie, but it is the end of the old DC.
I'm not really that high on this myself.
Would it be just a really charming, fun movie, though, after
That's
all?
how the first one was.
Yeah.
I have to admit, though, I agree. I'm light on the excitement. I think it's just going to be a tough time in general for DC to really ramp momentum up.
It's all going to be going down until they can show you something good. Until the Flash.
The Flash did get people put.
The Flash is going to be huge. That movie's going to be huge. Everybody's fucking talking about. Nobody gives a shit about. And we'll talk about the last movie coming out, which is also looking like being a disaster. But everybody's talking about the Flash. Helen Mirren also, she'll be in this, and then she'll be in Fast X. Big year for Helen Mirren. Fucking action movies. It's crazy. So
that is pretty great.
The last movie coming out this year for DC under the old regime before the James Gunn shit starts, Aquaman sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now, the first movie goes on to make $1 billion, over $1 billion.
Yeah, that never should have happened. But yeah,
it's wild that it did. So, this comicbookmovie.com reporting, the test screenings are not going well. Says here earlier this week, several sources reported test screenings for James Wan's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom had not gone over very well. In fact, the sequel was referred to as, quote, the worst DCU movie yet.
Oh, shit.
They said they've done some digging, but it sounds like the Warner Brothers Discover DC Studios may indeed have a train wreck on their hands. From what they can gather, earlier test screenings were held last year that were received more positively, although the reaction was still lukewarm. Whether this is a different cut or not is unclear, but the latest round of screenings is said to be disastrous. And we've even heard reports of walkouts. Oh, what the fuck? It's described as an unfocused mess, lame with unfunny jokes. There was also the cameos that, Momoa posted a picture with him and Ben Affleck. There was going to be a Batman cameo. I think all those cameos have been cut. They also say Momoa is very unhappy with the film, and that's why he wants to do Lobo. Wow. This is, there could be exaggerations, but that's not a good sign already for this movie that's been sitting around for a while.
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. I mean, now I'm only excited for like one of the 3 movies remaining. That's Flash and not this one.
I didn't like the first Aquaman, so I'm not surprised either. The only thing I can say that was in Aquaman's favor, the first one was, it was a wild movie, like visually. Like they went for it. You had a freaking octopus playing the drums and
all over the place.
All sorts of crazy shit happening. I didn't particularly connect with the movie that well, so I'm not all that hyped for this one, but if they don't have wild and wacky shit, they got nothing. Because that first movie I didn't think was good.
James Wan threw everything at the screen, right? He gives us
Everything.
the trench, and it looks awesome, but then it gets goofy, and like you said, there's an octopus playing the drums underwater. And the underwater stuff looked maybe marginally even better than Wakanda Forever, maybe.
Yeah, it was more visually interesting, I think.
Yeah, it was colorful. But Black Manta I wanted to see more of, which we're going to get in this movie. I thought he was cool. But yeah, it's all over the place and it's kind of a mess. So
yeah, I just thought it was okay. Like it wasn't like I wasn't coming out of there. They did throw a lot at you, and you could say that, and that's cool. And Jason Momoa is a presence, and he was badass in certain scenes. But yeah, I wasn't clamoring for another one. Like I was like, okay, I made it through that one, all right.
Do you think people have forgotten about the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing by the time this movie comes out? Because we talked about how like most people don't even know what Ezra Miller shenanigans have been happening.
I don't care what people do.
Yeah, she's still in it. I think she's still in it.
Like I don't know. I mean, like I think if they've already filmed it and they got in trouble for something, like it's what it is. What it is.
God, remember that I was watching that trial. Remember that shit? She shit on his bed. Oh, it was riveting television. It was the best TV show I ever watched. Just reliving it. It's fantastic.
Well, these are fucking bunch of crazy people. They're not all mentally well.
So Aquaman, let's see how that comes out. And then the last DC movie I want to talk about is now it's an Elseworlds Joker sequel, Joker Folie à Deux. It's a little pretentious title, but Todd Phillips has given us our first picture of Lady Gaga, as Harley Quinn from this movie. And it's a still shot, and basically it's just Joaquin Phoenix, Arthur Fleck, really up close to Lady Gaga, who's against the wall.
Why are you saying it like that?
Gaga, the Gaga, because that's her name. She's the Gaga, and she's got her hands around his face. He has a little bit of Joker makeup on, and she has no makeup on at all. Just from this photo, does this do anything for you guys?
No,
I mean,
it does nothing.
Look, it's showing us that this is right here. It's a Harley Quinn that's probably not going to be like the Batman animated series Harley Quinn, or even the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I think at this point, Harley Quinn is not even a character anymore. It's just whatever they want her to be for that moment, and I hate that. Like, I like when characters are a character, and I can tell you everything about them, and they exist in their own way. Like, it just seems like they're just doing whatever they need to. Like Harley Quinn is just a name that they slap on things. So, am I excited that they're going to change Harley Quinn completely again for the millionth time? Not really. But whatever. I'm interested in Lady Gaga as an actress. I'm interested in how I don't think this is going to be a great Joker movie, but it might be a good drama to watch, just like the other Joker movie was an interesting drama to watch.
What I'll say is I wonder what movie Todd Phillips is going to copy with this one.
Yeah, which director will he be fucking ripping off the movies?
Is he doing another Taxi Driver / The King of Comedy?
There's more Scorsese movies that he could...
Yeah, what Scorsese movie is he going to rip for this
or
one?
Maybe he picks a different director.
No, it's got to be something else.
So there's musical numbers in this movie. There's a rumor going around that they're going to change the character of Harleen Quinzel to not a psychiatrist, but a patient at Arkham, and maybe they fall in love.
Oh my god.
Would that work? I mean, they can make whatever fucking thing they want, right? This is going to be pretty different.
They can do it's an Elseworlds. They can do whatever they want. It's fine.
Joker was nominated. I mean, I know what's his face won the Best Picture. He won Best Actor.
He won Best Actor and made $1 billion off of a $50 million budget, which is incredible. And was it nominated for Best Picture? I don't think it was Best Picture, but
no, it wasn't.
Maybe.
Sorry. It was. Yes, it was.
Oh, it was.
It was. Yeah.
So maybe this time Todd Phillips rips off like Steven Spielberg movies, and it's a combination of Close Encounters and E.T.
Well, it's got to be a
Jaws.
musical, so you got to. What musical?
Greatest
West Side
Showman.
Story.
West Side Story. That's
Like
very
Guys and
recent.
Dolls
Yes.
or something.
Oh, they should do it like Greatest Showman. I love that movie.
Oh, that didn't win any Oscars.
No, but the songs are great. Anyways, we're going to get a different Harley Quinn with the Gaga here. Gaga. Oh, I got to tell you, the cartoon Harley Quinn show.
Your favorite.
Yeah, well, they put out they kind of did the third season and then went on a break. They put out this Valentine's Day special. It's really fucking funny. There's a moment at the end of this episode where Ivy releases all these petals in the air that get everyone horny and people just start fucking who's next to them. But at this point, Bane has gone to Etrigan to ask him to grow his penis because the running joke is that Bane has a small penis and he finds a girl who's into him. And so he goes to Etrigan. Etrigan fucks up the spell or he fucks it up and he grows to be building size. When he's building size is when he's hit with the poison ivy love petals and he has a giant boner and he proceeds to go around humping buildings until they're destroyed. He's fucking like apartment buildings, like 4-story buildings. It's like a really horny Godzilla walking around. It's fucking hilarious. I mean, it's silly, but it's so funny.
That's your show, man.
You have to watch it just to see Bane fuck a bunch of buildings. Come on, that's worth it. Listener, check out our TeePublic
Ruggs
shop.
isn't even saying anything.
He's muted.
Yeah, throwing up.
Oh my God, are you okay?
No.
Oh, the show makes you throw up.
No. It's just that trying to think of something funny to say. Bane fucking a building. Yeah,
It's great.
Sounds fun.
Come on.
Yeah.
What else do you want? Before we get to our
What else do
last
you want?
thing, listener, check out our TeePublic shop, jockandnerd.com/shop. You can get cool swag, t-shirts with Rug Boy's face, mugs, cell phone cases, tote bags, pillows, lots of fun designs. It's fun to be a hipster and get a niche thing. Nobody knows what it is. And you wear it and you tell them and give them one of these.
Jock and Nerd.
Okay, last thing in the news. I saw this just breaking today. You may have remembered, Anthony, you probably don't, about what Sylvester Stallone doing a TV show for Paramount Plus called Tulsa King.
Yeah, I know about that.
Okay, I watched a couple of episodes. It was pretty good. I did not finish. I don't know if I'm going to go back and finish. But not to be left out, Arnold Schwarzenegger is doing his first fucking television show
Oh, shit. Geek boner.
for Netflix. It's called Fubar. They put out a really quick teaser. In this article, he says, everywhere I go, people ask me when I'm going to do another big action comedy like True Lies. He says, well, here it is. He says, Fubar will kick your ass and make you laugh. And not just for 2 hours. You get a whole season. Fubar is about a father and daughter who discover their entire relationship is built on a lie, and they are each CIA operatives, and they have to join forces over these 8 episodes. And there's action and spies, and Arnold with a cigar. Is anybody excited for this?
I just found out about it, and then I'll watch an episode, and if it's not good, then I'll be very sad.
Should we watch a trailer and give our thoughts?
I saw the trailer.
Watch the teaser.
It's only
It's
teaser,
real
only
short.
23
It's like
seconds.
20 seconds. So there's really not even much to go on except him walking away from a dumpster fire, a literal dumpster fire, him with a cigar.
TV show, huh?
It's a TV show. Also in this, Monica Barbaro, Jay Baruchel, Fortune Feimster. You see her in the teaser. Gabriel Luna is in this.
Maybe. I'd be more curious to maybe if it was good. Maybe Ruggs will shoot all over himself like he used to for Arnold.
Dude,
Yeah.
Arnold doing a TV show.
I love Arnold.
May 25th on Netflix. It sounds like it's a little bit like True Lies, like he said, even though
Right
now
Like-
on CBS there's a True Lies show coming out. Does not look good.
No.
What's the last Arnold thing you liked? That the most recent Arnold.
Oh
thing
my
you
God,
liked?
that's a good question.
I can't even remember what the
I loved him as the governor of California.
No, that doesn't count.
What are the last 4 Arnold things?
Let's
He's got
see
these
here.
TV shows that I'm not very aware of, but the last 4 were Terminator: Dark Fate,
Oh, right. 2019.
VIY: Journey to China. I don't know what the hell that is at all.
He was in with Jackie Chan.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, The Game Changers. This is a documentary film.
No.
Killing Gunther.
Well, I don't know what that is.
That's
I didn't see that, but I know of that movie, yes.
Wonders of the C3. This is a documentary. That's not really an
something
Aftermath?
something called Aftermath.
What is this shit?
And then I don't know.
I
And then
don't know.
before that,
I
remember
don't-
he was in Terminator Genisys.
Well, yes. And I knew you were going to say that weird again.
Yeah, that was horrible. The Expendables 3, the last big movie, I guess.
Well, Terminators were the big
Oh,
one.
and the Terminators.
I guess the Terminator, the one with the girls in it.
Dark Fate wasn't bad.
Yeah, where
Yeah,
he plays.
that was okay.
He plays Carl. Did he sell rugs? What was his deal?
He did like drapery.
He was drapery. Carl,
It
the
was kind of
drapery
funny.
salesman. He was.
I think he was good in that.
Yeah,
He was
that was
good at
great.
That version of the T-800 was good. I don't like the premise of the movie because they Alien 3 John Connor, but
Oh yeah, that's right. At the end, I forgot about that.
no, not the end. In the beginning,
At the
first
beginning,
5 minutes,
oh,
they killed
that's right.
John Connor.
They killed John Connor. No, I'm thinking of Genisys, where John Connor is a Terminator.
That's a terrible.
No, that's terrible.
That's horrible.
That's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
I like that you can say
Salvation
it like
is
that.
Salvation is okay too, but
I
He wasn't
think,
in that.
I think Fubar is going to be a big return because you could just hear him going, "Yeah, it's all Fubar. It's Fubar. Get away." It's perfect. He's doing another
Has Tulsa
Conan.
King been a good return for?
I liked it. I mean, it's not great. No, it's not like amazing TV, but for Stallone to have like a decent show on,
He's good in it, and it's
like it's
entertaining.
a decent show.
Yeah.
It's like not like gonna change your life.
I watched like half of
It's-
it. I should go back and finish.
It's like it's got its moments.
Dude, there's a scene where he gets high with like younger kids, and it's hilarious. Like, there's some fun stuff in there.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they are doing those.
it's like a little bit of it's like slightly a dark comedy, but it's like a gangster show.
It's very gangster cliche, though, right? It's like
it's super cliche
seen it all,
gangster.
but with
You've seen this all before,
but
yeah.
now with Stallone. So I'm going to check out Arnold returning back, or not returning, doing TV for the first time, May 25th. That's crazy.
Anything to get a check, right?
Man needs to get paid.
Yeah, man, they're like at this point they're like 78 or something.
Yeah,
like
he's
what the
old.
fuck?
Yeah, late
dude?
70s.
75
Oh, he's
Schwartz.
75. Stallone's probably
And then he's around that age too.
he's like 75, 76. But yeah, no, CIA spy comedy with Arnold. Sure. Hopefully he's not like sleepwalking through it. And
I mean, we're talking like this, but like Harrison Ford is in the 80 something.
He's 81 and he's in a Marvel movie.
he's still going. No,
God damn it!
no more Indiana Jones.
I was just going to mention Harrison Ford is still sitting there doing stuff that like is actually like Fubar. I don't know if this is going to be relevant or not, but
Yeah.
the Marvel movie is definitely relevant.
Gene Hackman is like 93.
Is he alive?
He disappeared. Yeah.
I don't think he's still
Wow.
acting. He retired.
No, he's not.
93.
He didn't
Holy
do it.
shit. He is an old man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when you
Wow.
think Arnold's old, he's even old.
He's way older. He's like
20
18
years.
years. Yeah. 20 years. Wow.
That's crazy.
People are old.
Yeah, they can do it. You can do it now. You can do it.
Time is a bitch.
Your heroes just get old.
I don't know if you'd want to live that old. I feel like once you hit 80 or 85 or something, that's like you're like, all right, what can I do? Can I get out of bed? Like,
Dude, Tom Cruise
Oh,
at
my-
that age will still be
I shit
jumping out of
myself
fucking
again.
planes.
What's that?
I can see Tom Cruise going till he's like 85. Like he's not
like he's pushing 60
yeah,
down.
he is 60.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Holy
But I
shit.
guarantee in 20 years he'll still be fucking jumping out of planes. He don't give
How
a
many
fuck.
times a week are these guys dyeing their hair? Because Schwartz's hair is like
It's very
brown.
dark, isn't it? Yes.
And
Looks
there's
great.
no way his hair looks like that.
It looks great.
Yeah, Stallone's got a guy. He just does it.
Yeah, he's got a guy coming in every day to just touch him
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
Imran's coming in and
he
touching
left
him
the
up.
gray in the beard, but dyes the top, so
Yeah.
it's not obvious at all. Oh, he still looks good though. Like, yeah, I'm in.
Schwartz?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for 75, sure. 75 and being rich, yeah.
Yeah, he can.
That's a good game to play. Who is like the fucking most badass old guy?
It was Clint Eastwood for a while. Is it still, you think?
No, he's
I
tired
don't know.
now. Badass old guy.
Kurt Russell hung on for a while. What was I saying? Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
Kirk Douglas. That's what I was saying.
Oh, Kirk Douglas held on
Remember
for a
that
while.
movie?
Yeah.
It was like Wise Guys. It was like two old Bob guys. Nah, I should watch that.
Is De Niro? No, De Niro's not too old.
De Niro's like 70 something. He's definitely in his mid 70s. Old fuckers, the movie. I mean, they did it. The Expendables. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Old fuckers who Jean-Claude Van Damme was in that shit, doing fucking his kicks.
Denzel.
Oh yeah, Denzel's. Yeah, he's done.
Old, but he looks pretty badass.
Yeah, he's still pretty badass. He's not doing any more action movies, man. Or maybe he might come out of retirement.
Our heroes.
They're getting old. It's okay.
That's it. When Vin Diesel's getting old, Vin Diesel's got a filter.
He's in his 50s.
Yeah, he's got a filter.
What did my friend say? He looked like he had an Instagram filter on throughout the entire.
He's got a Snapchat filter.
Yeah. Fuck.
And I look like I'm 80, so
I had to film the whole movie on Snapchat.
Full circle.
Yeah. Well, Imran, you've looked interesting your entire life.
I look like Alec Guinness, but old
You
Alec
just
Guinness.
look like a Guinness.
Yeah. Anyways, let's take a break here, you fuckers, before it gets any more personal. We're going to play some promos. We're going to come back, do a Patreon review with a special guest joining us. Don't miss it. Right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey there, everyone. Brian here, host of TV Trivia Pod. It's a trivia-style podcast focusing on TV and movies. Listen in for questions like, what's the name of Michael Scott's screenplay? What do you say to view the Marauders map? And what's everyone eating in the post-credit scene of Avengers? Play along to TV Trivia Pod anywhere you get podcasts. And stay tuned for more trivia.
What's up, guys? Gerald from Two Peas on a Podcast here. Are you just sitting there thinking to yourself, man, I really love some dude in his garage sitting around talking about arbitrary countdowns and his favorite things in the world of movies, music, and TV? Well, guess what? That's me. Please look me up. My name is Gerald, and I am from Two Peas on a Podcast. If you want to subscribe to my countdown show, I have a different co-host every week. It's often someone from the world of podcasting or entertainment, and we go through our top 5 favorite things in whatever that week's category is. You can find links to all of our content, subscribe via your favorite podcast app, and follow us on social media. The easiest thing to do is just head to our website, which is www.twopeasonapod.com. I hope you look me up and join the party. It's a lot of fun. See you soon.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy this show, you should definitely check out our awesome fan club. It's over on Patreon. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. And you can give back to this insanity and some form of entertainment. I know it's entertaining, but you can sign up for a monthly or annual membership to the Patreon community, and everybody gets benefits. There's tiers, such as an exclusive podcast feed is one of the benefits. Shows come out early. There's right out of the theater reactions to movies, post-show bonus content. We also do a monthly Discord hangout. Lots of fun. We just had one last week. Anthony drank 3 8% beers very quickly. It was fun to watch.
It didn't face him at all.
No. Next time we'll have to give
Same
you
guy.
Get a 6-pack in you.
Same guy by the end.
Yes.
No difference.
Amazing. Unfazed. But thanks for everyone for coming out for those. That was fun. The next one is Thursday, March 23rd. Put it in your calendar, 8 p.m. Central. And there is a fun tier where you can pick any movie you want and force us to watch it and review it. And we sometimes we love doing these, sometimes we hate doing these, but it's always a fun time. All of that can be found at jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Now let's get to this week's review. We are doing one of those Patreon movie picks right now.
Oh, shit.
And we have a special guest joining us, the person who has requested this movie, also wanted to be on the show with us. Please welcome the lovely Chaz Hubbard. Hi, Chaz. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
I'm so glad you could join us. I
From
love
the beautiful country of Azerbaijan.
He's from Azerbaijan. Chaslington, also, if you're on the Patreon, you may remember, co-host of Jock Talk. Is that ever coming back, fellas?
Ask Chaz.
Okay. You keep putting this on me. I'm not sure that I'm the one that let this die. I don't know if I'm just going to take the blame for this.
You were
this
the
is
one that
interesting.
would always text
Ooh.
me and go, hey.
Yeah,
Jock
and
Talk?
then we had like 3 misses, and it just seemed like a lot of work after that. And I know you're too busy clubbing and EDMing or whatever you kids do. And
It's great Patreon content. I'm sure 2 or 3 people miss it. At least.
He's busy ordering delicious food, okay?
That's true. That's true.
He's Imran with the shot. I'm sure 1 or 2 people miss it.
Oh,
that's accurate.
wow.
I'm not even going to contest that.
I actually took a shot at something. Come on. Give me. I never do that. I was feeling
You don't
great.
do that.
Anyways, Chaz.
You got his shirt off now and everything.
I'm holding a kettlebell. That's why. It makes me feel powerful. Chaz submitted this pick of this movie we're going to do and requested that he wanted to join us. And I love that request. I'm so glad you're here. I think this is only the second time we've done something like this. If you remember, Adam Morris joined us for What the Fuck Happened, Masters of the Universe, I believe. And that was also a Patreon pick. But Chaz has picked the movie The Princess Bride from 1987. Here are your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
And this is crazy because you're here, Chaz, so I could say this show is sponsored by, dedicated to Chaslington Hubbard. Chaz, thank you for being a patron for 60 months.
Oh, Jesus.
60.
What are you doing?
I hope
He's like, I gotta get my credit card.
I hope I
I've been
didn't.
paying you guys for that long.
I hope I didn't remind you that
Holy shit.
you
Should have kept that to yourself and run.
Yeah, never mentioned.
It was great having you as a patron, Chaz. As the last thing. No, hey, and you know what? I love having you here, even though you forced me to watch Kingsman: The Gold Circle.
Oh, that was
Yeah, you
great.
you deserved it.
I remember that.
I did deserve it, so I took my punishment. So, and it was, it was a movie. Anyways, let me set up Princess Bride real quick on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie sitting right now 97% tomato meter out of 79 reviews, 8.5 out of 10. Audience score 94%. A well-loved, well-rounded movie. The movie made for about $16 million. Ends up only making $30.9 million, but becomes a huge cult hit. Huge on VHS after the VHS comes out. So it made a lot of money afterwards. The movie directed, co-produced by Rob Reiner, son of TV legend Carl Reiner. You may know Carl Reiner. Rob Reiner, also meathead from All in the Family, and has directed things like This Is Spinal Tap, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men. All pretty good movies.
Yeah, some good
Stand By Me?
films. Yeah, Stand By Me as well.
Did he do Stand By Me?
Nope.
I stopped
That's
at
correct.
Good Men. The story is actually written by the guy who wrote the novel. It's adapted. This is a book written in 1973 by William Goldman, and he has adapted his own book for the screenplay. Goldman has written screenplays for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, All the President's Men, Marathon Man. So he's no stranger to screenplays. And then I thought this was great music by Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits. Anthony, do you know who that is? Or
I
who
did
that
not
band
know
is?
that. Wow.
Yeah.
Who?
Mark Knopfler, Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, Chicks for Free, Sultans of Swing. He's an amazing musician. It's a great band. I love Dire Straits, so that was exciting to see that. Starring in this movie as Wesley, we have Carrie Elways, Indigo Montoya, played by Mandy Patinkin, Robin Wright as Princess Buttercup, Chris Sarandon as Prince Humperdinck, Christopher Guest as Count Rugen, Wallace Shawn, who is hilarious, as Vizzini, 7 foot, all 7 feet 4 inches of Andre the Giant as Fezzik. Anthony, do you know what his real name is?
Yeah, Andre, like Rutanov or something.
Andre Rene Rusimov.
Rusimov.
I did not know.
Yeah.
Fred Savage playing the grandson a year before Wonder Years hits the airs. Peter Falk, Columbo as the grandfather, and Peter Cook as the clergyman, and a bunch of other people, plus amazing cameos by Billy Crystal, Carol Kane, who almost kind of steal this movie. Anthony, have you seen The Princess Bride before?
I have, yeah.
Okay, tell us what happens in The Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride is about a little boy that is sick in his room, and his grandpa comes over to tell him a story, and he brings over this book that is about this lady that falls in love with a farm boy who goes away and disappears, and she's now betrothed to some king that she doesn't want to marry, and this guy in black comes to save her, and by coming to save her, he gets caught up in a adventure that ends up making him have to save her again. How about that?
Sure. Fantasy tale. Chazburger, this is your movie. I want to know, what is your relationship with this movie, and why did you pick this movie?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed The Princess Bride. I remember, I think the first time I ever saw it, I was probably 11. And I was on a Pee Wee football team, and my parents had this big conversion van that had like the VHS player in it, so you could watch movies.
Yeah.
And so we had to drive a long way to play our game. So we'd drive, and if we won, we got to watch movies on the way back. And so my dad pops in The Princess Bride, and he's like, "Here, you guys will like this movie." And a bunch of young football players that think they're macho and stuff like, "We're not watching that girly movie." And we got home before the movie was over, and we all just sat in the van and finished it, like the extra 30 minutes. Like me and all my teammates just were so into it by the end that we all, stayed and just sat in the driveway and finished watching the movie in the van.
It's amazing that you guys actually gave a movie with that title a chance, because if you just read the title, you think this is a movie for little girls.
Well, we were not offered a choice.
Oh,
but
okay.
My dad said we would like it, and he was right.
That's awesome. Anthony, what did you think of this movie watching it again now?
I'll preface by saying, as a kid, I think I said this last week, I don't know if we were recording or not, but I saw it as a kid. I think I saw it like in summer camp or maybe at school. I don't remember. Couldn't have been more than 10 years old. Probably less.
Okay.
And I thought the movie was boring as shit. Okay? As an adult watching, I hadn't touched it since that time as a kid, and I had the same kind of thoughts that Chazington had in the back of that white windowless van when he watched the movie, which was, this is a girly movie, and I'm not going to like this. So I watched this again the other day, and I get it now. I like the movie.
Cool.
I like the movie a lot more than I did as a kid. I didn't understand it as a kid. I think almost intentionally it's not really a kid's movie.
Yeah.
There are like kid-like things. Also keep in mind, as a kid, and even up until watching Game of Thrones, I never liked castles and kings and horseback, like, the olden days where it's like back in the English, Scottish times. Like, I never liked that stuff. I still don't really like that stuff. That being said, the movie's not really that. It's more of a comedy.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate a lot of the jokes. Also, keep in mind, as a kid, I grew up liking pro wrestling a lot.
Oh, yes. I would think
seeing Andre the Giant in this. I liked Andre the Giant a kid, so seeing him again is a kind of a nostalgia kick for me. And overall, I mean, not my most favorite movie in the world, but definitely enjoyed it and laughed out loud more than once.
No, it does that thing wonderfully where you can watch it with kids, but it's really for the adults, like good Looney Tunes cartoons, or the older cartoons back in the day were really for adults, but kids can relate to it.
I would say that I thought it was inconceivable that I would like this.
Inconceivable. So, Ruggs, this is a beloved movie. Does it deserve to be? What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, I always like this movie. I don't love it as much as everybody loves it, but I do like it a lot. And every time I watch it, I like it a little bit more, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not like I watch it go, I think I've watched it like maybe 3 or 4 times, and every time I watch it, I like it a little bit more. I didn't have a revelation like with Lebowski, where like I was watching it, and I'm like, all of a sudden it like hits me. But I did appreciate, you know what, like, classic movies that are just like these timeless movies that like, yeah, you can watch this in the deep future and still appreciate like its cleverness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's just something about that. There's just something about, there's a level of talent that's going on in here. You obviously there's so many talented people involved with this movie. So, and it's been imitated a lot as well, I think. And there's very few movies that are like this, that are kind of like something you can watch with the kids, but something that's an adult thing and something that I watched as a kid and had new jokes that I got later on in life. You know what I mean? Kind of like The Simpsons, where you can watch it as multiple levels going on. So it's got a very similar thing to that. So I enjoy this movie a lot. There's a lot of, just classic stuff going on. And you want to know something that really carries the movie? Is that Carrie Elways and Buttercup have good chemistry.
Yeah, sure.
Like they look like they want to bang each other the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like, even though like you have to sell this like love story that there's no reason they should be in love, you just buy it because of the magnetism between them in those first few shots. So it does get a hold of you. Yeah,
rewatching this again, I've seen it probably a couple times, but I really found it really charming, like a wonderful like 80s movie in the sense of tone. And it reminded me a lot of like Mel Brooks spoofs, right? Like Spaceballs, very in that tone. So a little bit of Monty Python in there, a little bit of like Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type of humor. But it's a parody of itself also. And it's kind of a fantasy movie where the princess doesn't marry the prince and, things don't come out great. And the magician is, he's fired and he's, nobody wants him. And the cameos are great. So I really had a good time watching this again. It's so quotable. I still say lines from this movie all the time. Chaz, what are some of your favorite moments, some of your favorite lines from this movie that have stuck with you?
I mean, Inconceivable, obviously, is something I still say all the time.
Inconceivable.
And I made everybody on my shift at work go watch this movie because they didn't understand what I was saying and just thought I was weird. But something, I don't know if I realized it. I've seen this movie so many times. I don't know if I've always thought about this, but upon rewatching it, the whole idea of like Dread Pirate Roberts retiring and just passing the name along was like cool to me. And I think this is probably the first time I was really like introduced to that concept maybe. And then as much as I like Andre the Giant and that character in this movie, I can't understand anything he's saying like the whole time.
You got to have the captions on, which is, helps a lot, especially with Andre. But yeah, it's great to see Andre. He's huge.
You want to know what I think about this? It's funny. It's like the most polite movie ever. Like they're fighting and they're always very polite to each other.
I mean, Inigo Montoya gives the man in black time to recover from climbing the mountain and they're talking. He lets him hold his fucking sword. And then he goes, okay, give it back. Now we fight to the death. Like, really? It's great.
I think even when Andre the Giant's throwing rocks at him, they have like a discussion. They're like, hey, let's do this like men.
Well, and he's like, his line before that is like, what? He's like, do it your way or whatever. And he's like, what's my way? He's like, when he comes around, you throw the rock at his head. And then he's like, Andre goes, my way is not very sportsman.
Yeah, that's a great line. I love when he's also like, when Vicini tells him to go swim after Buttercup, he goes, I only doggy paddle. And but dude, the three of them, like, first of all, Wallace Shawn, hilarious as Vizzini. You may know him from the Cosby Show. He's great on the Cosby Show. That lisp is great. And the inconceivable line is great. I love when Montoya goes, you keep saying that word. I do not think you know what it means, what you think it does. And then the way he gets killed,
the battle of wits.
The battle of wits is because
the way he keeps overthinking the whole thing.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
So I would be stupid to choose my glass. And then what does he say? He goes, you fell victim of one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war, but only slightly well known is this: never go in against the Sicilian when death is on the line. And then he just fucking laughs and keels over. It's so good.
He keeps keeling over.
It's so funny.
It's great.
And yeah, on Indigo Montoya, Mandy Patinkin is great. And his line, my name is Indigo Montoya, you kill my father, prepare to die. That's why I'll always remember that.
My favorite part of that is when he meets him for the first time, the guy, the six-fingered man, and he says the line, and then the guy just takes off.
Yeah, he just runs away. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
I like
great.
when Indigo Montoya is he's been drinking, and Fezzik finds him, and then they like cut to Fezzik trying to revive him, and he's just dumping his head in both buckets of warm water and cold water, like over and over.
It works. That's how you wake him up. Oh, when he knocks out Under the Giant and he's like, rest well and dream of large women as he leaves. It's so, my favorite, Billy Crystal. I always say this when people are leaving. I'll just go, have fun storming the castle, and wave like an idiot.
Why did they cast Billy Crystal and then just put him in all that makeup?
I mean, you could still tell it's Billy Crystal.
Oh, 100%. I was like, that's Billy Crystal. What's going on?
Hello
here?
in there. Hello. But those two, that is like the funniest scene in the movie.
Well, I thought it was Mel Brooks at first for some reason, and then I'm like, oh, it's Billy Crystal. Yeah, yeah. You don't know why he's under all that makeup, but it's like it reminds me of Yogurt from.
Yes, Yogurt from Spaceballs.
Yeah,
I'm looking for the other. There was another line that really made me laugh. It's when he when the man in black wakes up from in the castle, like on top, and like his body doesn't work, and Indigo Montoya is like, let me explain, and then he asks, like, he rapid fires like 5 questions at him, and then he goes, let me sum up instead.
Yeah, he's like, no, that would take too long. Let me sum up.
It'll take too long. Let me sum up.
The line where he's about to kill herself and he's on the bed and he's like, there's a shortage of perfect breasts in the world. It would be a pity to damage yours. So great.
It was another reminder of what PG in the 80s was, which was like, I don't know, that's like, that's barely, that could be like a low R, maybe PG-13 with the amount of blood they have too.
Yeah,
it gets, that's right. It gets a little racy, bloody.
I mean, they're talking about her perfect breasts, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is on Disney Plus?
I mean, it is a line. It is a line, but they go past it. They don't linger on that too long. No. But another thing that was really, really nice was that whole cutting back and forth to Fred Savage and his grandfather.
Yeah.
And how he's like starting to warm up to the book, just like everybody else that was in the van watching it with the football team. Like he's like, they're kissing. He's like, I don't mind it now.
Is this the kissing book, Grandpa?
Yeah.
Is that Columbo?
That is Columbo. That's the fucking great Columbo, dude. Peter Falk is great. But yeah, that structure of this is a story being told to a young boy, and it gets interrupted sometimes, killing the momentum, but always like that would have been you, Chaz, right? You're at the same age where you're like, hold on, what's with all this kissing?
Yeah, felt like that for sure.
How old were you again?
I was probably like 11.
11, okay. Yeah, you're probably around that age.
Yeah.
Well, I also got a nostalgia kick just seeing, that's Fred Savage, right?
Yes, and his room.
I remember watching the Wonder Years growing up.
Yeah,
too.
and all the shit in his room is kind of great. There's a lot of Chicago stuff. There's like a Refrigerator Perry poster. He's wearing a Bears t-shirt. There's a Chicago Cubs pennant. He's playing fucking Commodore 64 and shit. So fucking great nostalgia stuff with that. Would you guys consider this a Christmas movie? Technically, he's there at Christmas time. If you look, there's a Santa Claus on the wall. There's snow outside. He gives him a present, the grandpa.
Oh,
this is around Christmas time.
No,
I just watched it and I didn't realize it was a Christmas movie. Then it's not.
But it is. It's Christmas time when he's telling.
Technically, it takes place during Christmas, but
being set at Christmas does not make a movie a Christmas movie.
No. Okay.
Most of the story happens in Florin, and it's not Christmas there. So
yeah, Chaz.
Tell him, Chaz.
Ron.
Inconceivable.
Wrong again. Wrong again.
How about the clergyman going, marriage, love, woo-wah.
Everything with a W.
Yeah. I mean, it is making fun of speech
Where's
impediments.
the wing?
A little bit, but...
Was it making fun of?
Like a person with a speech impediment.
Oh, yeah, here's
right?
a good question. Could you make this movie now?
Well, does it hold up? And could you make it now? I don't know about the guy with the speech impediment. I don't know.
No, you can't do anything funny now. Yeah. That's it. The answer is no. You can't do anything that's going to be interesting now. That's all. That's it.
But does the movie hold up still? Did it age well?
Well, look, I watched it and I thought it was okay. It does hold up to a degree. Yes, I do think it does. It's a classic for a reason.
I mean, it's a comedy, right? So, and it's set back in the olden days or whatever. So that makes it almost kind of timeless.
I would agree. I think it is. It has the kind of a timeless thing, even though they all have like American accents, which for some reason, like it works in this.
Look, if you put it into this fake fantasy timeline that's supposed to be medieval in nature, like people in medieval times were not, the best. That's why you have the word medieval, because people getting beheaded, people getting fucking all kinds of shit happening to them. So. Yeah, so if it's set in that time, you can't really hold it accountable for whatever's going on. That's what's going on at that time.
Chaz, who were your favorite characters in the movie?
Vizzini's like great for sure, and then Inigo Montoya. I think you're probably most invested. I was more invested in his kind of story arc than the love story with Wesley and Buttercup. Yeah, that was more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wizard guy's hilarious. His interactions with his wife are hilarious too.
Yes, because he's like, "It's a witch." She goes, "No, I'm not. I'm your wife." She calls him a liar. They're yelling, and then they make the thing with the chocolate coating to help it go down easy. And that whole bit is hilarious. Like it's like Weekend at Bernie's. They're dragging him around. Really funny physical stuff.
Do you guys think the movie I watched before this was Ant-Man? Which is
so did we.
All like a CGI eye fuckfest.
Yeah.
And then you watch this movie where all of the effects are practical. And I kind of feel like the suspenseful scenes in The Princess Bride with like the eels and the rodents of unusual size.
The rodent.
Those are almost more suspenseful than any CGI thing that I've seen in a while. Even though they're not great effects, like they seem ominous, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
I was impressed with how well that stuff held up. Actually, rewatching it again.
I kind of have a theory on this, and it's like you're so desensitized by the way they make movies now because we're on our millionth Marvel movie now.
Yeah, 31.
So we've become so desensitized to like their kind of filmmaking. That's why we're bored. And when you go back to old movies, we're not like watching old movies all the time. So like they're jarring, and they kind of. Even when they're slow, a little bit slower and moving and everything like that, they still, if they're done right, could still grab your attention and becomes, you see that magic, that movie magic that we kind of miss now.
I think it also helps that the tone of the movie is kind of playful.
Yeah.
So you can look at this eel that clearly isn't real and go, yeah, but this is like a weird fantasy movie, right? Like, right off the bat when the man in black falls down the hill and says, "As you wish," and Robin Wright chases after him.
It's clearly a stunt person.
It was a dude.
And Robin Wright chases after him by falling down the hill after him,
and then they just get up and they're fine.
Yeah, because so it's like, the tone of this movie isn't taking itself all that seriously.
That's the thing. That's the charming thing about it. You could see the stunt double for Buttercup is like a dude with a mustache, real quick. They would have had so many broken bones. But I agree about the practical effects, like the fire swamp scene, actual flames shooting out. They set her fucking skirt on fire, like for real, right? The Rouses that wrote it. There was a person in there, I guess, and Rob Reiner did the voice for the Rouse, the little noises. And yeah, that was kind of a scary looking scene. And the eel scene is great because she has swum far away and the eel's coming at her. And then all of a sudden she's like next to the boat as Fezzik punches the eel and just lifts her out with one hand.
You know what I like too is that scene. It's just so ridiculous. Them climbing the rope and both of them are climbing the rope without using their legs.
And not only that, Andre the Giant is holding three people and just pulling himself up with his arms. It's so good.
I heard that Andre the Giant's back was fucked up during this movie, and he couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that. Yeah, his back was so fucked up because he just had surgery that he couldn't even carry that scene where he carries Robin Wright.
Yes, there's cables.
They had to lower her with wire.
Yeah, somebody was whole. Yeah,
and then there was supposed to be a scene at the end that they decided not to do where Fred Savage's character looks out the window after he tells a story and he sees the four of them on white horses.
Oh no way! Out his window. Oh
yeah, but they were like. Number one, we couldn't find a horse that would carry Andre the Giant.
Yeah,
I can't. 500 pounds.
I can't imagine
and we would have had to lower him on wires onto a horse because he couldn't get up there.
Jesus, I can't.
Wow.
I can't imagine. Andre would. You need a fucking giant horse. I can't see Andre the Giant sitting on a horse.
An elephant.
How?
Give him an elephant.
Yes, give him an elephant. Everybody else has horses. It just looks like a horse because of his
That'd
size.
be funny.
How about the whole bit where he's rhyming and like the funniest line is as they're floating away, Vicini goes, "No more rhyming," and I mean it. And then you hear him go, "Anybody want a peanut?" And it's just so fucking stupid.
This is so stupid.
It's so funny. The rhyming. He just keeps rhyming. No more rhyming. But no, it's like a satire and a parody.
Did you see that Siskel and Ebert, both of them liked this movie?
They gave it 2 thumbs up. Ebert gave it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, he liked this movie. He really liked it.
How about
I couldn't
the,
believe it.
How about the albino talking in an evil voice and then coughing and then just talking like a normal person?
It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Come this way." Yes. Oh yeah, he was. That's the character's name, the albino. That fucking torture machine, and Humperdinck is such a dick, and even Buttercup's kind of a dick in the beginning as she's
Ordering
bossing
him around.
Yeah, she has no
bossing
parents
around.
in the movie. Where's her parents?
Where is her parents?
She's just the farm girl that owns a farm and has a servant.
It's interesting that she she's one of the more famous people coming out of the movie.
Yeah, this is her big break. Like, it was
And
her first big movie.
I didn't like her character. Is like one of the more least interesting characters in the movie for me. I didn't really like. She's young, so like a young Robin Wright's like nice to look at. But other than that, I'm like, eh.
I think that was all you needed back then. You
I
just
think
needed
so.
to be able
There wasn't
to,
much for her to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not particularly likable.
No,
she isn't in the beginning. You're like, dude, she's a dick. She has
You're completely right, Chaz. Like her and even Carrie Elway's character.
Yeah.
Them two, when they were on screen, they have decent chemistry. But I was like, give me to the other guys. All the other characters are more fun.
Yeah. I love Indigo Montoya.
Indigo Montoya, Fezzik, the Miracle Man. I mean, those are all funny characters.
Miracle Max.
Miracle Max.
She has a little bit of agency, though, right? She's not a complete damsel in distress.
Well, yeah, she just doesn't want to marry the guy.
Yeah. And then he's about to like smack her in that one scene before she knows who she is. I was like, what is going on here? I thought you love this girl. And he's like, don't let my hands fly.
He wants
again.
to kill her.
No, he's talking about
the Man in Black, Wesley, when he comes back before he tells her and he says he's the Dread Pirate.
That was
Roberts.
a time when you could do that.
Yes, that was a time.
Yeah, you can't. As I said, it's medieval times.
It was the 80s. You could do that.
Well, yeah.
Raise your hand.
From the beginning of time till the 1980s, it was perfectly fine.
Fuck. This podcast is never going to make it.
We're obviously joking.
We're gonna get
But,
canceled. I found
reaching for a joke.
Some interesting things here. They both Carrie Elways and Mandy Patinkin had to learn to fence with both hands because they do that great. Let me tell you something. I'm also not right-handed or left-handed, and they fence with both hands. I thought that fencing scene was okay. It was pretty good. I mean, it looked like
they both did it.
Yeah, they both.
They
did
weren't
it.
stuntmen doing it. They did it.
And then cutting to the stuntmen for the gymnast pole spin around jump is hilarious.
Yeah, that was the only thing that they had a stuntman for in that.
Did anybody else notice, though, when he lands from that flip, you can see the mat that he's on because it kicks up dust all around him?
Oh, really?
It's like very obvious. Yeah.
I'd have to watch that.
I love those little kind of things in this movie where you can see the stuntman, you can see some of the
Well,
the
when
movie
he jumps
making.
into the door to open the door to get to Buttercup in the castle, like the whole set shakes. It's like you can tell it's not real.
It's like an Ed Wood movie.
Yeah.
This was attempted to be made before by people like Robert Redford, Norman Jewison, Francois Truffaut wanted to make this. Failed. That the torture machine that sucks out his soul originated from the 1983 James Bond movie Never Say Never Again.
Oh.
The art director, Richard Holland, he worked on Never Say Never. He explained in an interview the original torture device was meant for James Bond, was constructed, but they didn't use it. But I can't, that's a silly device. I can't imagine that water to soul sucker thing.
Well, the first idea for the soul crushing machine was they're going to make him read Dan Slott comics.
That's very soul crushing.
That was a reach. I had to do it.
The Rouses have been mentioned, the rodents of unusual size in lots of video games like Fallout, New Vegas, Borderlands 2, World of Warcraft. This movie has a crazy legacy because it stuck around in the pop culture.
Yeah, I've heard about. I mean, this movie even though I never revisited it up until Chazington made us watch it, I've been aware of this movie into my entire life.
Yeah, like everybody always talks about it and quotes it. So we were talking about the Rouses, and there was someone to be in the rat suit. In an interview, Rob Reiner says the guy they hired was in jail, and they had to bail him out and get him back to set. So that guy was a criminal in that rat suit. There really was a Dread Pirates Bartholomew Roberts.
Black Bart,
Black Bart, absolutely. A Welsh pirate, considered to be one of the most successful pirates during the golden age of piracy, based on the number of ships he captured and claimed. And they've tried to turn it into a musical several times unsuccessfully. I think they should stop. It's not necessary.
No, just leave it at, I mean, it's a miracle that this movie works, period. So, like, don't fuck with it. Like, let it be what it is. And just let it exist as this.
There are many board games, tabletop card games about this. There is a casual video game called The Princess Bride.
Wow.
Yeah. We never saw the PG-13 Deadpool 2, that version, but they used this. They had Fred Savage come back as the grandson and use this as the narrative gimmick in that movie. Bookending, I guess Deadpool was playing Peter Falk. And then during the pandemic, remember Quibi?
Yeah.
Does anybody remember
I remember Quibi.
Yes.
I do too.
Quick Bites.
They had some interesting things, but during the pandemic, a bunch of celebrities redid this movie from lockdown. And you had like Diego Luna and Patton Oswalt and Neil Patrick Harris and different people playing the same characters. Keegan-Michael Key playing somebody. And it's like an hour-long movie you can watch on YouTube that everybody filmed on their phone and stitched together. Chaslington, you watched this? Have you seen this?
I have not. I vaguely remember hearing about it. I thought it was more like a table read, though.
They did a table read more recently, and then Carrie Elways wrote a book about like behind the scenes. But then this Quibi video is crazy, and it's just like all these fucking celebrities doing the whole movie in little pieces. So again, it's still very popular. People love this movie to this day.
Is it Rob Reiner's best?
Well, let's see. So he did before this. He did This Is Spinal Tap, which is a fucking brilliant,
that's a masterpiece,
hilarious improv comedy. So Christopher Guest, who played Count Rugen, the six-fingered guy, he was in that one. And that movie is hard to top, but Misery is really good. A Few Good Men is really good.
The lady won an Oscar. Few Good Men. Yeah. Stand by Me.
I love Stand by Me.
Stand by Me is a fucking fantastic movie. So I don't know.
I think it's a good one. He doesn't really have a really terrible movie.
When Harry Met Sally, again, very quotable. Like all of his movies, people still talk about, and there's a lot of memorable moments.
Yeah, I haven't seen any after A Few Good Men. So anything from 94 on, I haven't seen.
I don't know any of these.
But all those ones, like A Few Good Men, Misery, When Harry Met Sally, Princess Bride, Stand by Me, Spinal Tap, those are all movies that are on some list, on someone's list for like great movies in their genre.
I mean,
sure.
I think it's one of the better comedies of the 80s. Like if we had a best comedies of the 80s list, this definitely.
Well, it's the film is 50 on Bravo's 100 Funniest Movies, number 88 on the American Film Institute's AFI 100 years.
It's on AFI 100.
100 Greatest Film Love Stories, and 46 on the 50 Greatest Comedy Films list. And then also selected by the Library of Congress.
It is in the National Film Registry,
for
just
film
like a bunch of other movies we talked about.
What do you think is in the DNA that makes things a classic? Like something like this. There's so many comedy movies. There's so many send-ups of of the medieval times. They've done like serious movies with Errol Flynn and shit.
It's very Errol Flynn-y, yeah. So
why is this is it just because Rob Reiner's involved and there's like a lot of talented people involved? Is that what makes it a classic? Because it wasn't like well received when it came out, right?
No, it only made $30 million, right?
It didn't break the zeitgeist in the beginning.
Chazavelt, what do you think?
I mean, I'm not any movie critic like you, Anthony, but
you're not Roman Polanthony.
Yeah, exactly. I just kind of feel like with this movie the tone always kind of feels right. Like it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's kind of witty and light the whole time. but the moments that are supposed to be suspenseful still have some suspense to them, and the parts of the movie that are supposed to be like action scenes, the action scenes are good, and it's never boring. Like, it moves quickly, and I think that's why it's so easy to rewatch. That's probably why it would be classic as well. That's my opinion.
It's very aware. It's kind of self-aware. It knows what kind of movie it is, and that it's cheeky, tongue-in-cheek.
I think a movie becomes a classic when you can quote it, right?
Yeah.
But also, like, you have characters that you remember. So you watch this movie and everyone remembers, Fezzik, Inigo Montoya. You even remember Robin Wright as the Princess Bride because that's the name of the title. The Man in Black, the Six-Fingered Man, Vincini. Like, there's so many characters that you would remember coming out of that movie. I think when there's characters that you remember, I think that also helps making it in a classic. And then it's a unique tone, right? So it's a comedy set in the medieval times, told in the way of a little boy getting told a story. So it's like, as you guys mentioned before, it's like layered where kids can watch it, adults can also appreciate it. So it appeals to a lot of people as well.
Yeah, I think it's like comforting. It's like a bag of potato chips, like it doesn't really have to like ascend to greatness. It just has to fill that void that you need. And you want to have like a nice light movie that's going to make you laugh, and there it is. It's right there.
It is like comfort food too, right? And it makes you feel good, and it has very timeless.
Yeah, it's like
quality.
Marriage. It's what brings us together today.
Marriage. Woo-wov.
Like, if you look at if we want to analyze this movie, like the narrative, it's not a very good narrative.
No.
Right? It's like this asshole girl treats this guy like shit.
Yeah.
He leaves, and she's about to marry this prince, and I think she has a dream that someone says something bad, and she doesn't want to marry him anymore.
That was great. Queen of refuse. Boo! That was great.
And then the guy shows up, and he acts like an asshole to her, and it's not really like a great premise, but it rises above it for some reason. It's able to do that because of the tone. I think because of the tone, you're like, listen, don't take this movie serious. Just have fun with us. We're doing this stupid movie. And I guess we all can go along for the ride.
Yeah, I agree. And there's also, I think, a little bit of it too is they have Andre the Giant in the movie, who's just a beloved human being throughout history.
Yeah.
Just having that guy in the movie makes it more unique. And he doesn't look like anyone else you'd ever see.
Yeah.
Everybody from all of the postmortems on that, like, they all said he was the greatest guy to work with. He was nice and everything. They didn't say he was an asshole.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
true.
was like, so he must, and I think it does endear you to him a little bit when you watch that, because when you used to watch Andre the Giant, he was like with Hulk Hogan in the ring and shit.
Right.
And Hulk Hogan was trying to body slam him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a complete different way of looking at this guy. And I think it's great that he did this.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he's in a classic movie as like a sympathetic character, and he has a lot of screen time, and he's one of the good guys. So,
and they let him say his lines, and I'm sure they like did multiple takes, and they were like, you know what, screw it, just let him say the
Get
lines.
it out,
fine.
He's not going to get this out right.
People will figure it out eventually.
Yeah. One day we will have closed captioning, and people will be able to figure this out.
That's exactly what we did.
That day is now. That's what we did. I had no problem. But also, you got to think about this movie when this came out in 1987. There was Willow, there was David Bowie's Legend, and I think
Lady Hawk,
but it sets itself apart from those. Like, those are trying to be like serious action fantasy, whatever, and more for family. But this one definitely sets itself apart.
This is fun, actually. Let me pull up the 87 box office.
And what's weird is I don't mind that they're using American accents. Where the Willow Disney Plus TV show, the kids are doing like modern day vernacular and American accents, and I'm like, this doesn't work at all. But here, it works.
Would you like to know the 87 top 10 box office?
Yeah, 1987 I think was a good year.
You got just to set the stage for what kind of year this was. Beverly Hills Cop 2 number 1.
Oh.
Platoon number 2. 3 Fatal Attraction. 4, The Untouchables, 5, 3 Men and a Baby, 6, Secret of My Success, 7, Stakeout, 8, Lethal Weapon, 9, Witches of Eastwick, and 10, Predator.
Oh, and Predator in 87 also came out in 87.
But all other movies that came out besides this were notable: RoboCop, Dirty Dancing, Full Metal Jacket, Spaceballs.
Yes.
So, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Lost Boys.
Man, those are all great movies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great movies.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I don't think I saw this in the theater.
Raising Arizona.
I think I caught this
Look
on
how diverse
VHS.
they are. They're like not this. They're not all superhero movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that top 10, you're looking at a comedy. Beverly Hills Cop, Platoon. Well, that's a war movie. Fatal Attraction is the
thriller.
Thriller, like that the femme fatale type shit. So like you got all sorts of weird shit in the top 10 back then.
Yeah, look at the movies out now. You don't see that.
It's all big blockbusters.
You don't see that variety. There was something for everybody. All right, I think we all said the movie kind of holds up.
Sure.
Let's rate it. Chaslington, you go first. It's your pick.
Oh, I was not prepared for this.
He stopped listening to the show years ago.
He does not even pay attention.
Movies.
It's in the notes, damn it.
I know. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Nice.
I like this movie a lot. I always love it. You can never say anything bad about it to me.
I mean, it is almost like a perfect movie for its time and for the existing now. It's almost perfect. Anthony, what would you give it?
7-year-old me said this was a 1 and would never watch this again. Me at this age, I'll leave my age ambiguous, is I would say it's 7.5. I enjoyed the movie. I don't have the childlike tie to it that Chaslington has, so I think that helps when you see something as a child and you really connect with it. But
yeah.
I liked the movie. I thought it was fun. I'm also going to say I don't think it's Rob Reiner's best.
Yeah.
Of the Rob Reiner movies that I have seen, I like Stand By Me the best, but I do enjoy The Princess Bride.
God, it's hard to beat Stand By Me.
And I'll say Rob Reiner from like 84 to 92. I haven't seen the movies after. What a director.
Killer set of movies. I mean, yeah.
The guy knows how to make you feel things during films.
Whether it's, a love scene or comedy or a scare or thrilling
or coming
tension,
of age story or a courtroom scene.
Yes, like the man knows how to make a story
or make you scared.
Yeah. That is a good versatility. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Rewatching it, I had a lot of fun and fond memories, and just the fact that it has so many quotable things that sometimes I still say. And I don't know. It's a good Rob Reiner movie. It's hard to beat Stand By Me, that's a perfect movie. Ruggs, what would you give it? And Spinal Tap is fucking hilarious.
Never
seen
that. You just pretty much stole my thunder there.
No, sorry.
But I would say. I'm going with a 7.5 as well. I feel like that's a solid score. You've ascended past average and way above average, and now you're like flirting with an 8 right now, so that's good. Is Spinal Tap? I think is a much more of a unconventional film. And the fact that it works so well, I think that's like to be commended. And Stand By Me is a classic coming of age movie. And not only that, but it's well done. It's well executed. And so is A Few Good Men, very well executed. Misery is very well executed.
Yes.
So, and like he's got like a straight up comedy. He's got like some mysterious horror stuff. Like Misery is like Stephen King. It's got some mystery to it. Stand By Me has got a mysterious vibe to it. So yeah, he's a very talented director.
You know what Rob Reiner does really well? I'm looking at all these films, a lot of these films, other than this is Spinal Tap, maybe even Spinal Tap, but he takes written works that other people have made and really translate them well to the screen. Stand By Me is a Stephen King novel, so is Misery.
Yeah,
we talked about Princess Bride being an adaptation. Few Good Men is based on a play by Ernst Sorkin.
Oh, that's a Sorkin play. Oh, yeah, he's good at adapting.
He's good at taking stuff and
it is this movie, especially kind of like the movie itself, where like the grandfather is passing on a fantasy to his grandson through the oral tradition of reading. It is a movie that like you watch and grow up loving, and you want to play for your kids and have them grow up and have a different, relationship with it as they grow up.
Well, instead, now you would just put a YouTube video in front of your kid's face.
Well, yeah, if you're going to be lazy about
Read.
it.
Come
Yeah.
on.
No, I'm talking about, Princess. You would want to show this movie to your kids.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking about, I like the line where he goes,
that's a great line.
Books were TVs back in the day for us.
Back in my day, television was books.
Yeah.
Somebody, I can see myself saying that in a few short years. Back in my day, the internet was the library. Or something like that. But Chaslington, thank you so much for picking this movie, man, and your support. We appreciate it.
Did you enjoy this better than Kingsman 2?
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you for having mercy on me. It is a much better movie than Kingsman, Golden Circle. Have you seen the new one? The last one?
Yeah, I didn't like it as much.
Okay.
None of them are as good as the first one. The first one had some juice. I liked the first one a lot.
There was Jews in it? I missed that.
Juice.
Okay.
And so does this film. I don't know.
This one does too. Okay, let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. Oh.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
I got more comments from our group, Jock and Nerd Nation, about Ant-Man 3. But first, Jazzers, you said you saw this movie. Give us a quick 2-minute review there. What'd you think?
I didn't care for it.
No, he did not like the Quantum Mania. Okay.
I mean,
didn't like it.
It was fine. I kind of think I've kind of fallen out of love with Marvel a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Like, I didn't watch Black Panther, didn't watch Thor Love and Thunder. I keep saying, I'll get to them eventually on Disney Plus, but I haven't found my way there yet.
Have you watched any of the shows, the TV shows?
Yeah, I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki. They're all fine.
All right.
But I haven't had anything in a while that hit me quite like, I don't know, like Civil War or Winter Soldier.
Sure.
I haven't put out anything like that. No, it feels like a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. That's a sentiment I've seen a lot. Let's find out. We got some more comments. Chris Marin said, I enjoyed it much more than Wakanda Forever and Love and Thunder. A little Star Warsy too, however, the quantum realm felt tiny in scope and more like a small town rather than the equivalent to a galaxy. Overall, a lot of fun. Robbie Spliff Dog Maze, who has the best name. It was cool with questionable moments. I enjoyed it, though. I've seen the same people that love Venom, New Mutants, Eternals, and Black Adam shit on this movie. And there's nothing wrong with liking those movies, but we know, He says, Wes Cranford said, I also like this movie. Definite Star Wars vibe. They really pushed the family thing, too. Tony is right about the tonal problems. I did like MODOK as far as he's always been silly in Captain America comics. Kang was great. I like that the variants, and I forgot, I didn't get the rest of it. It doesn't matter. He liked the movie. And finally, Jose Ibarra. He listened to our review and said, listening to Rug Boy talk about how Marvel pissed off a lot of people by not staying true to comics made me wonder if they can still kind of do it. They won't, but I think there's a way they can. What if they did a Disney Plus show of the Marvels comic series from the mid-90s, use the photographer's point of view to sort of retell the MCU in a different, more true to comic way, make it a place on a different Earth than the MCU, make it canon. They can include the Fantastic Four and X-Men. An animated series could even stay true to the unique Alex Ross art from the comic. I love Marvels. I would
love to see that.
That'd be kind of cool if that got translated.
They're not going to do it.
What's the I don't even know what that is.
Marvels was this 4-issue.
You got to get it.
It's so good. 4-issue limited series, fully painted by Alex Ross, super realistic. And it was from the point of view of a reporter. I think it was Ben Urich from the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, you're right.
And so it was how he and like the people on the ground level saw these heroes. So it had great panels. Like he's in his office and you would just see like Spider-Man crawl up outside the window. But the way Alex Ross paints Spider-Man, like you see the fabric folding, it's like very grounded. So it's this normal person, civilian.
That was when Alex Ross was like the man and everybody wanted him to do. He was doing I think he did this before Kingdom Come or after Kingdom Come. I can't remember.
It might have been after.
But so he ended up doing his like spin on Marvel. And he wanted to, get his chance to paint all the Marvel people, so he did.
Interesting.
It's very good. It's a great little like self-contained story. So all right, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's finish with some what are we watching? Jazzers, tell me you're watching The Last of Us.
I'm not.
No,
but I'm
you
going to.
Son of a bitch.
As soon as it's all out, I'm going to binge it.
How do you Yeah.
I played the games.
You have played the
I
game.
love the games, yeah. And I'm glad that everything I'm seeing is so positive, because when they announced it, I felt like that could be a good show, but they would have to, do some things right. And it sounds like they have, so I'm very excited for it.
I mean, it's the same guy who wrote the game is writing this show, right? So any changes he wants to make, I'm completely on board, right? Like he's get a chance, similar to Kirkman in the beginning of The Walking Dead, he got a chance to tell the story again and fine tune it and make it better for the medium. And he's absolutely doing that. Have you played the DLC of the first Last of Us?
I don't remember. I think I had the definitive edition, so probably.
It's like a Ellie backstory mission kind of thing. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
They did that in this last episode. So it's crazy because I was like, this isn't in the game. And I didn't know, thanks to Jose Ibarra letting me know that this is the DLC content. And for a game to be so fucking good that the DLC is even amazing and holds up to adaptation is wild, right? I thought this last episode was fantastic. 7. But Jazz hasn't watched it. But spoiler-free reactions, Anthony Rugboy.
You can spoil it for me. I don't care.
I didn't know that this was the DLC, but I thought it was a good episode. Just another solid episode, and yeah.
I mean, we knew what was going to happen because it's a flashback, and so that sucked a lot of the drama out of it for me. But I did like the episode. I thought it was very well done.
I mean, it stalls the story for a whole episode, right? So
yeah,
but learning this about Ellie was, I think, very important. Adds so much depth. And there's just something compelling. So in this episode, they break into an abandoned mall. There is something I love about abandoned malls. There's this Instagram account I follow, and this guy just goes into abandoned malls and films it. And it's just so fucking interesting and creepy and fascinating. I don't know what it is.
It's nice to know the backstory and everything, but I do feel like I was like, the whole episode passed and we don't know if this dude is going to die or not. Yes. And I was like, oh my God, I felt like very, very Walking Dead-y. Very Walking Dead-y, like where they just veer off. So it's fine. They have to do it every once in a while. It's not like a big deal. So I'll allow it. So.
Oh, did they leave you guys on a cliffhanger with like a decompress episode?
I mean, it would call, like, it would be unfair to call it a filler episode.
Yeah, I don't think it's a complete decompress because the story within that story is a flashback about something kind of crazy that happened. But it's just like Rugg said, it's where it's going, right? So,
like you could skip it. I mean, you really
it's the same story without it.
I mean, the most important thing that you learn is basically about Ellie and relationships and how the relationships are always weird. But I would go to say that anybody living in this world has got relationships where people just disappear.
Yeah, they lost people. But now Ellie suffered, like now she has suffered a loss similar to what Joel had suffered from the beginning of the show, right? So that's why she doesn't leave him and she's got a connection. But
right.
But fantastic acting by Bella Ramsey. She was that was very good to see her.
Yeah, very good.
Have fun in the arcade scene. It was just great. Okay, Chaslington, what are you watching? Anything? What do you want to throw out there?
All right, I've got 3 things that I'm watching.
Let's go.
So I'm kind of going through like an HBO catch-up phase where I'm catching things that I should have seen by now, but I didn't watch.
Okie dokie.
So I just finished The Wire.
Oh, man.
Was amazing, and I honestly might go back to that in a couple months and just start over because that's how much I liked it.
You're often called one of the best TV shows of all time.
And I've known that for years, and I don't know why it took me this long to go watch it. But I just finished that up, and that was awesome.
I've watched 1 season, and then I never finished it. So at some point, I got to sit down also. There's only 5 seasons. Yeah. It's very good drama.
Yeah, So the reason I even got started on that was because I watched Breaking Bad, and if you look up Breaking Bad and say, is this the best TV show ever made?
Yeah.
Most of the comments will be, no, that's The Wire.
Or Sopranos, The Wire. That's
I hear
always up
Sopranos
there.
too.
Breaking
Yeah.
Bad is always up there.
So I finally made myself sit down and start The Wire, and I think it's way better than Breaking Bad. It moves a lot better than Breaking Bad.
Wow. And you have the late, great Michael Kenneth Williams playing Omar. Which
Omar's awesome.
Yeah, one of the best characters.
Isn't Idris Elba in that or no?
He is, yeah, Stringer Bell.
Yeah.
He's also fantastic in it.
Yeah, that's one I got to sit down and watch. All right. What else you got?
I just finished The Watchmen today, earlier.
Oh,
actually.
really? Get the fuck out. Isn't that amazing?
I was impressed with how much I liked that. I wasn't a huge Watchmen fan necessarily.
Yeah.
I didn't know how I was going to feel about the show. And pretty much right from the start, though, I was into it. I liked that a lot.
Shit, I would watch that again. I mean, two great things, like learning about the Tulsa riots and how embarrassed I felt that I was like, what the fuck, this happened? That I did not know this fucking happened. No, it was not in any history book. That was just a revelation. And then the way that they're actually able to show Dr. Manhattan, he is in every moment of time at once, and they're almost able to like translate that on screen to something you can understand, I thought was impressive.
Yeah, and Dr. Manhattan made more sense and seemed more like a real character in this than I had him in my head.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't read the whole book or anything, so I'm not super familiar with the character, but I was more attached to him than I thought I would be.
I mean, I still remember the whole thing about how the cops have to call in to get their gun released. I was like, holy shit, this is a wild fucking dystopian.
And they wear masks, yeah.
Yes, then the mask, like, oh, it's so good. I got to go back and watch that again. Okay, that's a good one. What's the next thing?
And then my wife and I are rewatching Game of Thrones from the beginning.
Oh,
We're
shit.
in season 5 now.
Oh, shit.
House of the Dragon kind of led us into going back and starting that over.
This is your second time through Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I've gone back and watched episodes, here and there before, but this is the first time, beginning to end, going back through it. So it's my second full rewatch, I guess.
Does it hit any different, kind of knowing what's going to happen?
So we're in season 5, and these, season 3, 4, and 5 are so good.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm going to be frustrated all over again when I get to the stuff that's not as good.
Yeah.
So I'm not really looking forward to that. But yeah, I had forgotten. It's crazy going back through all these other like kind of side plots and side characters that you completely forget about, and get to focus on them in a new way when you go back through.
Fucking Littlefinger is the most evilest fuck out of all of them. Come on, at the end of the day, that dude. But I think it peaks in like what, season 5, season 6, maybe.
I remember the last one was bad. I didn't think any of them before that were bad.
Yeah, okay. I didn't think I liked 7. The only season I didn't like was the last one.
8. Okay. So
I thought when it ended in 7, I know it wasn't following the books, but I thought the way season 7 ended, I was like, give me into 7.
Yeah, 7 was
good,
awesome. Actually. Yeah, so maybe it's just that last season that fucks the whole thing up.
It really does.
Yeah. That's a shame. But, they didn't lose any fucking ill will when Game of Thrones came back with House of the Dragon, right? I feel like
House of the Dragon's great.
It was very good. You jumped right back in. Okay, good stuff. Anthony, you watching anything?
I finished Physical 100.
Yes. Oh, my God. Jazz, you heard about this show?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, my God. I finished it, too. I kind of wanted to talk about, like, the last 2 episodes.
It's basically, Chaz, you might like it.
Yeah.
It's like MTV's The Challenge, but with Korean celebs, but not it's like celebs, athletes, like the top of their fields. And it's like The Challenge meets Squid Game, but with Korean athletes and celebs.
The
like real
fucking
athletes.
fittest 100 people in Korea. It's the best Korean game show. Nobody's watching.
Nobody was watching. What are you talking about? A lot of people
I guess people are watching.
Subtitles?
Yes, I would go subtitles. Imran's a sadist,
watching it dubbed.
and watches it dubbed with terrible dubbing.
I tried to watch it without the dub, and then I was like, nah, this is too much. I can't pay this much attention. I gotta go back. It was a little too much. I was like, there's too much going on. Anyways, let's get to like the finale so that our boy, Chun, what was his name?
By the way, Chaz, Sexyama is in the show.
Sexyama.
That's the name of the guy, right?
What's that? Yeah, Yoshihiro Akiyama. He's an UFC guy. he's in the show. But yeah, he that wasn't the final episode. He got eliminated before.
No, in that last challenge, the punishment of Sisyphus, Chun Hung Ho. What was his name? Oh my, the 47-year-old Chung Soon Hoon. But he made it far, and I was saying that he got eliminated. But the last, he's
older than you. Can you believe that?
I know.
The way he looks compared to you.
Yes, it should be embarrassed. But
That was rude.
It goes from 100 to 50 to 20 to 30 to 10 to 5.
Yep.
And in the last 5 challenges,
it goes from 20 to 5.
20 to 5, yeah.
Yeah.
The big dude surprisingly makes it through the last 5, the weightlifter. And then the others.
Well, let's play it like this. For this episode 7.
Yeah.
If you had to choose which one you would have.
Oh my God, that was so good about choose which one, because there's a strength one, there's a stamina one, there's a speed one, there's a climbing one, and so you got to pick. I like that they let them pick.
What would you have picked?
I would lean. Fuck. I think I would lean toward just holding that boulder. It's the least amount of movement. I could just close my eyes and go away and just pretend I'm not there and just occupy my mind. But I don't know.
Isn't that boulder 200 pounds?
Dude, yeah, he can't do that.
He held that shit for 2 hours. I don't think I would survive 2 hours.
Yeah, it was 220 pounds.
There's no fucking way. That's it.
There's the relay race that would require speed. I don't think I would do good in that. The continuous rope climbing. No way. My hands would give out. I'm way too heavy. I guess I would take the punishment of Sisyphus and just push myself.
You might be able to do the boulder one.
Yeah, rolling the ball up the hill and down in 40 seconds. But then that fucking tag game where you are simultaneously trying to tag the person in front of you while evade the person behind you. That was kind of crazy.
I would you pick the torch one where you had to race to the torch.
Yeah, because that's a quick 3 runs and you're out. You know what was great about that one? That they had that long dude, Dieter, the baseball guy, and then Miracle.
Nippert. What are you, Dieter?
Nippert, Dieter. Nippert and Miracle. And then the one dude in the middle, and on the first run, fucking Nippert's leg just gets caught in the thing they have to hurdle. He's done.
Yeah.
The second one, you keep seeing Miracle hurdle the pole but have to turn around all the way.
Yeah,
he did that
efficient.
twice, and it cost time. And the dude in the middle just fucking hurdled, cleared the whole thing, facing forward, kept running. No one was catching him. That was very impressive.
My 2 thoughts were, one, that the episode 8, some of those challenges were just brutal.
Yeah.
Just brutal challenges. Like the end challenge where they're pulling the infinite rope. That's insanely hard. And then the other thought I had was, it's cool to see, hit the spoiler button.
Spoiler alert.
It's cool to see the people that made it to the final they were athletes, but where they weren't in sports that you would consider the most popular. It was, the big guy was a car dealer who just happens to work out.
Yeah.
There's one guy that's does the luge.
He's a luger. Yep.
Yeah. There's one guy that was a mountain rescue guy.
Yes. Those people got to be all around.
And then there was one
shape.
guy that was a cyclist.
The cyclist, and then the
and
crossfitter.
then the guy that win it, is a crossfitter.
So the cyclist guy intrigued me because that dude had stamina. And that shuttle race was insane. We did 70, 80 reps, and the timer kept getting shorter and shorter.
That was nuts.
But he plowed through, and he survives that. And then when they do the continuous rope pull, I knew right away he was going to lose because he, at the beginning, just goes all out.
Hard. Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, that you're going to gas out. And the other guy kind of took his time, and they both were. Credit to them. Everyone, they were pushed to the absolute limit of exhaustion of your body's physical capabilities. That was impressive to see.
The way the big guy was breathing on the square flips was he's going to die.
Flipping, and he's wheezing out loud, and that other dude is standing on them, and he's just following the big dude and just flipping it right
I would
back
have
over.
my strategy was I would have gone as slowly as possible.
Yes, until the end,
and then
maybe.
conserve my energy, and then in the last 2 minutes, flip everything.
5 minutes of flipping those tiles is exhausting. And you should just flip one.
Because as long as you're moving, but you're not moving at full speed.
Yeah.
And the other guy's flipping everything and he's moving at full speed. He's gonna get tired. So
there were so many things.
It's worth a watch, I would say.
It's fun.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Where can I watch this?
Netflix.
And how long until we get an American version?
So I don't think we'll ever get an American version because I was debating this with my friends. I think Americans there's just too much ego. So the prize was $300,000.
Yeah.
In American money. But I was spitballing with my friends, like who would be in it. Like I'd love to see LeBron, The Rock. Like it was like literally like the top athletes and then the top YouTubers and the top bodybuilders and the top like
Gymnasts,
soldiers. You had like soldiers and
Olympians, yeah.
policemen.
Military.
Yeah, I
dudes.
don't think would get like LeBron or something like that, but you could probably
Firefighters.
get Goggins and guys like that
Yeah, but
are
you- but
popular
I
on
think-
YouTube for being fit to do this.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I just think getting the big athletes would be the pull here, because that's what it felt like. The pull there was in Korea, is they got like Olympic athletes in it, and they got like Sexyama is like a huge name in Korea. And they got him to do it, and they got like they got like the equivalent of like Jake Paul to join too. And
Yeah,
then
they were
like,
all celebrities in Korea.
Yeah.
Like everybody knew everybody.
so it would be
else.
like Aaron Donald and LeBron James and
Michael Phelps, maybe.
Michael Phelps.
Yeah, that's
and-
not happening.
Some
yeah, no,
other
so just
fucking
you just
Olympians.
wouldn't get the level that it was at
So
in Korea.
I will say, and I mentioned this on our last Discord, there is a show that's kind of similar. It's not exactly the same that I've been enjoying watching on CBS, Chaz. It's called Tough as Nails. And it's a similar physical challenges, but this is all blue collar workers. So you have like welders going up against mechanics, going up against pipe fitters, concrete, people who lay concrete, people who are contractors. And the challenges are all like blue collar things, like use this grinder, cut through this wall, put up drywall, do electrical wiring, fix this put this motor back together. And they're also pushed to exhaustion. And you learn a lot, but they're all very polite, just like on Physical 100. Everybody's really nice and polite. There's no smack talk. Same thing as Tough as Nails. It's the only thing that comes close to that show that I can think of.
I will try to check that out too. I am interested in the Physical 100 thing or whatever.
Yeah,
I heard you guys
check it
talking
out.
about it before. Like I'll look into that for sure.
Yeah, it's great. It's 9 episodes. Ruggs, you got anything?
Oh, I had something, but then I forgot it. So, I mean, I watched Back to the Future.
Oh, you
Whoa.
did again.
Great movie.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to say? It's fucking classic.
Dude, that is
It's
a
great.
perfect movie. Like it's a damn near perfect movie.
It's a lot of fun, and it still works on so many levels, and it's a fun watch. It was definitely enjoyable. Did I watch something else? I know I'm going to remember what it is later, but whatever. We can move on.
Okay, well, let's finish with this. Out this week, everyone. Mandalorian season 3
Are
starts.
we reviewing that?
It premieres the day this show comes out, March 1st. Now, as we've done in the past, we would review like the initial episode and then review the last episode. Here's
Okay.
the thing. This episode 1 is, it's like 35 minutes. I don't
Oh,
know.
weird.
Yes, it's a very short and they're only putting out one.
Well, why don't we just review that and still do Creed? Since it's
And
only
also
35
the other
minutes.
thing is Creed 3. Do we want to all go see Creed
Yeah.
3? Okay. We could do that. we could
Even
do
Chaz will see it. He's not going to be
I
on the
can't
show.
wait for Creed 3.
yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
see.
Yeah, you're hyped for that one. That's coming out
Yeah.
this week.
Can we all see Creed 3?
I'm in. Ruggs.
Yeah, I'll go watch it.
All right.
Yeah.
good. So we can
All
review
right. So we'll
we
do
can review both.
Mandalorian. Yeah,
It comes out this week.
comes
this
out
week.
this week. Yeah. I'm just because season 2 premiere of Mandalorian was almost an hour long. Even the first episode of Mandalorian is longer than this. So, like with credits, it's going to be like a 30-minute episode. You know, it should be an hour. I don't know, or put out 3. It's just kind of whatever.
Yeah, it sucks, but we've seen this before.
But Pedro
So-
Pascal on 2 huge shows airing at the same time now. It's pretty.
He's not
impressive.
in there.
He's not really in there. You don't see
He's
it.
just doing ADR. Yeah.
He just records his lines on his iPhone and emails them in. That's all. That's all the work he does.
Yeah, he has like he has a compression filter on his phone. And then
Does his
that's
bedroom
it.
does his bedroom sexy voice to talk to baby Yoda. All right, that's it for this week, Chaz. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the support, man. Thanks for picking this movie. Hope you had fun.
I did have fun. Thanks for not shitting on the movie that I picked like you did last time. I appreciate it.
This is no Kingsman. Come on.
You
it's-
have chosen wisely.
Yeah, it's the Princess fucking Bride. You know, what am I going to do? You want to plug anything?
Maybe eventually Anthony and I will do another Jock Talk.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah,
There's
there
a
you
little
go.
tease. Always welcome it back. Great Patreon.
That was a tease of a tease.
It's a tease of maybe a tease. Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. Come follow. Say hi. What's up?
Check out our website, jockandnerd.com, for links to everything. Rug Boy's Twitter, our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, how to support the show. Most importantly, share the show, tweet it out, text it to someone, share it from the app you're listening to it right now. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next week. Why did I say that?
I'm always peeping you, Imran.
I'll peep everybody tomorrow. Look out your
tomorrow.
window. Yes. Just look
Jesus
out your
Christ,
window.
Imran.
You will see me.
Their bottom is very weak.
This is crazy.
Oh, where is that? No shit.
You gotta play the drop.
Their bottom is very weak.